Hey friends, I hope that meeting with you here today finds you well and happy. I'd like to share a little bit of my thoughts about passion using an example from history because I'm recently inspired by a young man that I met, and I really don't want to divulge his name, but I'm absolutely just inspired by their desire to win in their own personal goal. But you know, there's moments in history or in our personal lives when the impossible becomes possible, not because the world changes, but because one person refused to believe in the limits that were set before them. On May 6, 1954, as an example, a young medical student named Roger Bannister did exactly that when he ran 1 mile in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. And in doing so, he shattered a psychological wall that had stood for decades, that the 4-minute mile was impossible. The 4-minute mile wasn't just a time, it was a myth. It was a barrier. People believed, for example, that the human body just couldn't cross that barrier. Experts said that bones would shatter in the feet, that the heart would fail, the body would overheat, muscles would shut down, and eventually death. For years, no one challenged it, because when the world tells you something is impossible, it's easy to believe it, especially when we see it all over Facebook and we see it all in the news that something cannot be done, or we're even taught that, or the experts tell us that something is impossible. But Bannister wasn't built like everyone else, not because he was faster, but because he thought differently. He wasn't a full-time student. He wasn't a full-time athlete. He trained in between medical school classes. He didn't have corporate sponsors or cutting-edge training facilities or special shoes. But what he did have was a clarity of vision, a relentless discipline, and a fire inside that refused to go out. These are things that we don't often see when we read these histories. But it said that he visualized that mile again and again and again, breaking it into pieces, with each step almost like a declaration of war against his doubt, as he said. And on that day at Oxford, he took his place on the track, not just to race, but to redefine what human beings believed was possible. When he finished, and the announcer read the time, 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds, the crowd erupted. But it wasn't just cheers for the runner. It was also, in my opinion, a celebration of what we can do when we push past our fears and our doubts. Imagine hearing that you'll die, but he didn't just break a record, he broke a mindset. Here's the most incredible part. Once Bannister did it, others did it too. Within a year, dozens. Within decades, hundreds. Why? Because the moment one person proved it could be done, the impossible became just a challenge. So I ask you, what is your 4-minute mile? What barrier stands in front of you now? Is it a dream that you buried under doubt? Is there a voice in your head that says you're not enough? Or perhaps family? Or someone instilling the fear of failing? Or maybe even standing out? Roger Bannister's story reminds us that limits are often just inherited lies, passed down, repeated, and accepted, but not truth. Truth is what we create when we act with courage, when we train, we sweat, we fail, and get up again, when we believe in something even when no one else can see it. You don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to have perfect conditions. You just need the guts to try, to show up and run, to break the tape on the barrier that's been holding you back. Because once you do, others will follow. You'll give them permission to chase their own impossible 4-minute mile. That the power of one person can change others around them. That's, for example, the legacy of Roger Bannister. And you'll do that with people around you when you accomplish your goals. So don't run from your limits. Run through them. The finish line is closer than you think, my friends. This is your friend, Scotty Nichols. I'll see you at the top.